Hi everyone, welcome to virtualbrigade.com. In my previous video, I have explained how to create the Tier 1 logical router and how to create the Tier 0 logical router, and I have also explained how to validate the logical router configuration from the NSX Manager, and I have also explained how to validate the logical router configuration from the NSX CLI command line, and we have also seen how to configure the NAT on the Tier 1 logical router. In this particular video, I'll explain how to configure the route advertisement on the Tier 1 logical router. So with that, let's get started. In order to provide the layer 3 connectivity between the virtual machines connected to the logical switches that are attached to different Tier 1 logical routers, it is necessary to enable the Tier 1 route advertisement towards the Tier 0. And you do not need to configure the routing protocol like dynamic routing protocol or the static routing protocols between the Tier 1 logical router and the Tier 0 logical router. So the NSX Manager basically creates the static routes and automatically configures the static routes between the Tier 1 and Tier 0 logical routers when you enable the route advertisement. So as you can see, we have the web virtual machines connected to the tenant A logical router. As you have seen in my previous video, we have created the tenant A logical router, and then we have connected the web logical switch, DB logical switch, and the app logical switches to the tenant A logical router. And in order to provide the connectivity between the two different tenants, tenant A and tenant B, we need to enable the route advertisement on the tenant A logical router, which is my Tier 1 logical router. And we have also seen how to connect the Tier 1 logical router with the Tier 0 logical router. When you connect your Tier 1 logical router with the Tier 0 logical router, the NSX Manager will automatically configure the static routes between the Tier 1 and the Tier 0 logical router. And that particular port is called as the linked router ports, and we have connected the logical routers to the downlinks of your Tier 1 logical router. And we have also seen how to configure the uplinks on the Tier 0 logical router towards your physical net routers. So in this particular video, I'll show you how to configure the route advertisement on the Tier 1 logical router. So to configure the route advertisement on the Tier 1 logical router, you need to log into the NSX Manager as admin. Once you log into the NSX Manager as admin, you can click on routing and go to the routers tab. So from the routers tab, you can see the number of logical routers that we have configured. As you can see, we have the tenant A logical router, which is my Tier 1 logical router, and the provider logical router, which is my Tier 0 logical router. So in order to configure the route advertisement on the Tier 1 logical router, click on the Tier 1 logical router that we have created. And from the configuration, you can see the router ports, and from the routing tab, you can click on the route advertisement. So from the route advertisement, by default, the route advertisement is disabled. In order to enable the route advertisement, you can click on advertisement and then click on edit. So from the edit tab, you can see the status. You can toggle the button to enable or disable. And to advertise all the NSX connected routes, you need to toggle the button to yes. And you can also advertise all the NAT routes. You can advertise all the static routes, all load balancer VIP routes. And you can also enable load balancer source NAT IP routes. So once you enable the routes, so the routes will be advertised to the Tier 0 logical router. So if you want to explicitly advertise certain routes rather than advertising all the routes, you can also create the advertise routes. From here, you can click on add to advertise the routes rather than advertising all the NSX connected routes. So from the new route advertisement tab, you can enter the name, you can enter the description, and then you can click on, enter the networks that you want to advertise, and then click on save. This particular configuration will save the route advertisement so that you can explicitly allowing certain routes to advertise to the Tier 0 logical router. So this is how you can configure the route advertisement on the Tier 1 logical router. So once you have configured the route advertisement, under the route advertisement section, you can find the number of advertised routes. When you click on the routes, we have 7 different networks that are configured. So you can see the web tier logical switch and all the routes that we have configured on the Tier 1 logical router. So we have the 172.16.10.0 network, 10.14 network, 101.0 network, and 20.0, 30.0. So these are basically the web tier, DB tier, and the app tier logical networks. And if you scroll down, we have also configured the NAT in my previous video. So we have advertised the NAT routes through the Tier 1 logical router. This is how you can configure the Tier 1 logical routers route advertisements. This is about how to advertise the routes from the Tier 1 logical router. So I thank you for watching. Please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you.